Hello everyone, this is another episode related to GCSE series, and in this episode we are going to be talking about AQA Foundation Writing Test. Literally, it is related to how to answer the 40 words task, how to tackle it and how to get the best results and amount of points when you are writing a 40 words task. So first of all, the first step is, what does the task look like? So for example, you are going to get some instructions, and normally you'll be asked to mention 4 different things that they will come up with some bullet points, and you need to write about 40 words in Spanish. So if it is about 40 words, you can have minimum 35, for example, and a maximum of 45 points. So, your Spanish friend, Sofía, te ha preguntado, has asked you, sobre lo que haces con tus amigos, about what you do with your friends. Escríbele un correo electrónico. Write an email. So, first of all, we've got Sofía, and then we have got un correo electrónico, which we know it translates through an email. What we need to be talking about, so in the first bullet point, we've got deportes. So deportes refers to sports. So you should be writing a sentence about sports. The second one is about redes sociales. So social networks or social media. So you should be writing a sentence about social media, televisión, which refers to TV, television, centro comercial, commercial center, or shopping center. So a sentence about the shopping center. But we've got here to write about Sofía, so it is an email, so we should be writing, so we should start with Hola Sofía, and you should finish with Adiós. But let's see, how is it marked? How are we going to be able to get those points, the highest amount of points in your exam? So there are 10 marks for content and 6 marks for quality of language. In total, there are going to be 16 marks altogether. Candidates write about 40 words in total, referring to 4 different bullet points. All bullet points are compulsory and must be covered, but there is no need for equal coverage of the bullets. That means you could write more about one idea and less about another idea, but what you need to make sure that you will be answering, you are obliged to answer to all those bullet points to achieve the highest amount of points. So first of all, to get 9 or 10 points, you should be writing a full coverage of the information required. Communication has to be clear. So your sentences have to have flow, have to be correct, have to be connected. You'll get 7 or 8 points if there is a good coverage of the required information. Communication is mostly clear, but perhaps with occasional lapses, and I will explain what lapses are in a second. A reasonable coverage of the required information, communication generally clear, but there are likely to be lapses. So in this one, in these 2 points here, you are going to be covering all the 4 bullet points, but to achieve this amount of points, your sentences have to be correct. Here, there are occasional mistakes, yeah? Here, you might actually miss one of them, bullet points required to write about, and also the communication is generally clear. Partial coverage, I believe this is going to be 2 of the bullet points are missed, and sometimes the communication is clear, and for the last one, a minimal coverage, which I presume could be 1 bullet point answered and communication often not clear. Okay, and 0 if you did not write anything related to the 4 bullet points where you decided not to write anything. So, the information that the candidate gives must be clear. The more lapses in clarity that they are, the lower the mark is likely to be. Lapses are instances where the inaccuracy of the language is such that there is a delay in communication or nothing at all is conveyed. So, literally, when you make big mistakes and when you are not mentioning anything, lapses, yeah? All of the information that a candidate attempts to give in relation to a particular bullet point may be unintelligible, in which case that bullet point will not have been covered, meaning that a mark of 9 or 10 will be impossible, as the response will not display full coverage of the required information. So remember to stick to what you were asked to write about. If you're asked to talk about sport, and you talk about your favorite tennis player, obviously you are not going to get the point. So you'd rather say that you like to play tennis at the park at the weekend. There is no requirement in this question of the candidate to refer to events in the past or future, so using the present tense only will enable coverage of the bullet point. So you could use only present tense across your task here. However, the bullet points tend to be general, and so references to the past or the future are acceptable. For example, if the bullet point says holidays, the candidate may choose to write about a past or a future holiday. Lapses will occur when there is a mix of time markers and tenses. For example, last week I will go to the seaside. So you'll need to make sure that you put the right time phrase at the right time. There is no requirement for the candidates to present their piece of writing in a particular way because of the context. Example, a blog or an email does not need to look like a blog or an email. It is the content which is to be marked. So you don't have to start with Hola Sofia and to finish with adios. You can dive straight into the first sentence and write it correctly. Quality of language uses a variety of appropriate vocabulary and grammatical structures, generally accurate. Vocabulary and grammatical structure generally appropriate to the task with some attempt at variety more accurate than inaccurate. Vocabulary and structures used may be limited, repetitive, or inappropriate. There may be frequent errors. The language produced does not meet the standard required for the mark at this tier. This point here is very important. So your sentences shouldn't be like me gusta el deporte, full stop. I like sport, full stop. So that is not going to do. That's going to be considered limited. If you are going to be using some words, try to avoid repetition. For example, to say because in Spanish we could say porque. But also you've got synonyms like dado que, puesto que, ya que. So because you've got 4 sentences, when you are going to be talking about your reasons, you can always use a different word. So this way you are going to avoid repetition. Variety of language will be shown through, for example, different adjectives. Yeah, so do not write divertido everywhere. Different persons, so you could say me gusta, but also try to say my friend and I like, yeah, or my family and I like, and so on. Some variety in the nouns and verbs used. So try to, for example, if you say me gusta, try not to say me gusta all the time. Try to say me encanta, and you are also allowed to use negatives. No me gustan. So let's go back to our task. Tu amiga Sofía te ha preguntado sobre lo que haces con tus amigos. Escríbele un email. So, sport will be the very first one, social network, television, and shopping. So, we could start with Hey Sophia, but as the Markin said, you don't have to start with to keep your writing in the form of a blog or of an email, because only the content is going to be marked, so the form doesn't matter at this very moment. So I would start with Hola Sofía, but as I said, you don't have to put it. Normalmente juego al fútbol con mis amigos en el parque. So we need to refer to sports. So you need to say what you do about sports. Choose a sport. You don't have to play that sport. You just have to make a sentence about a sport. So normally I play football with my friends in the park. The next one is social network. And also, that's a good thing. Put a tick after your notes. That meaning I've done that bullet point, I could move to the next one. Me encantan las redes sociales porque son divertidas y entretenidas. I love social network because they are fun and entertaining. And I've got another tick. TV. Mi madre y yo vemos la televisión cada fin de semana. My mother and I watch TV every weekend. So I haven't mentioned only things related to myself. I've put my mother and I watch TV every weekend. And the last one, suelo ir al centro comercial con mi hermana. I normally go to the shopping center with my sister. And that was what I covered for shopping center. And you could finish with adios, but as I've mentioned, hola Sofia and adios are not obligatory. And I've got 40 words, 42 words all together. So let's see now what to do and what not to do in your exams. What to do? Write short, correct sentences. Write about 10 words per bullet point. Put the adjectives after nouns, for example, un perro grande y simpático. If you refer to plural, use me gustan, me encantan, porque son. Check the agreement between words. Una casa bonita. Refer to other people. A mi amiga le gusta. My friend likes. Solemos ir. We usually go. Answer all the 4 bullet points. What not to do? Do not repeat words. That is going to take points away from you. Do not say porque es no. Correctly is porque no es. Remember that the negative is going to be in the front of the verb. Do not forget to check your spellings. Do not write me prefiero, me adoro, me odio, me detesto, because that translates through I prefer myself, I adore myself, I hate myself, I detest myself. Do not make up words. If you forget the meaning of a word, try to change that word. Do not create new words in Spanish because you believe they sound Spanish. Do not use only porque. Use their synonyms or other translation for because, like dado que, puesto que. Do not write more than you should. And do not leave any bullet points unanswered. If you like this video, please subscribe and press on the bell for more notifications and videos like this. Also, please leave a comment down below.